Hey, good afternoon. It's a rainy afternoon now. We have Hurricane Henry. I call it Henry. And when I mispronounced the name, somebody told me that, no, it's French. It's a French hurricane. You got to pronounce with the French name. I said, it's not French. There's no ethnicities on hurricanes. It's a hurricane. And then I heard somebody else saying, well, Henry's moving up the East Coast. He's going to be here it's not a he, it's a hurricane. Oh, anyway, this is Hurricane Henry Sunday. And hi, I'm Mac. This is Coffee Talk with Mac. So today we're going to talk about fear and the adverse effects that fear has on the individual and society as a whole and what could be causing it. But before we get started, it is Coffee Talk and this is Pete's. Okay, Pete's Coffee is excellent coffee. It's one of my favorites right now, and I'm enjoying it. And Pete's also has varieties. This is Cafe Domingo, and it's perfect because today's Sunday. Founded by Alfred Pete, 1966 in Berkeley, California, in his small coffee shop. What I like about Pete's, he has the roasted date, because as I said before, you know, a raw coffee bean has a long shelf life, but once you roast it, that shelf life is drastically shortened. So the faster you get it out there, the quicker you enjoy the coffee and brew it after it was roasted, the better. And you're going to appreciate it. I'm going to leave a link for Pete's in my description and also a link for my other website, health and fitness website, which is Silver Fox Fit Club for health and fitness for men over 40. It's an educational site, science-based, and on it is a couple of studies for the benefits of drinking coffee and always drink in moderation. So today's segment is about fear, and it's appropriate that we talk about fear and the adverse effects of fear has on the individual and society as a whole. I'm going to show, I'm going to share a screen and show a little PowerPoint that I made up about fear and what's been happening lately. It's like it's a little bit out of control, and there are reasons why. Okay, I mean, a lot of people have fear with the pandemic that we're going through with today, and there's different reasons for that, but there's an overall fear, and it's almost like a catch-22 situation. People want to be protected, but they're fearful. So one of the effects of fear is a diminished immune system. So let's talk about that. So we're gonna hit the PowerPoint. Okay, so fear strikes again. And basically, over the last 20 years, 21 years, somebody posted this online. I thought it was interesting to read all the different things that we went through in the last 21 years. Of course, what's missing here is a few notable things, but remember it all started with Y2K and the fear that people had, fear and anxiety about Y2K and how that's going to kill us. Then, of course, we had anthrax fear, right? And then we also had 9/11 happen, West Nile virus, SARS. I mean, you get the point. There's a lot of things that happened in the last 21 years. Hurricane Sandy, the housing market collapse, swine flu, tensions with North Korea, tensions with Russia. And now we're down here and we have coronavirus. So there is an unlimited number of things that can cause fear if we allow them. And these are a lot of different things and it gets hyped up because of news media and social media today. Look, anytime you turn on the news, or anytime you turn on social media, these are stories that are passing through Facebook on social media. So not just the news. We can't just blame mainstream media. We can also blame social media. Okay, that those are cesspools for fear and instilling fear and riling people up. There's a lot of negativity on social media, right? Look at this. Gunman opens fire, Times Square. 5 men shut out grocery store. Horrifying video of a hatchet attack. So, and this is just locally. This is all around the country now. Yeah, we always get those updates, what's happening in Chicago. So this plays on people's minds. It is what people think about. Just the other day, a bomb scare in Times Square, right? And turned out to be nothing. I think it was a cookie box, a tin box or something. Turned out to be nothing. But everybody was riled up, tensions rose, stress levels rose. What happens when you have fear, right? Fear causes stress. That's a photograph of your heart, by the way. Or not your heart, somebody's heart. Fear causes stress. Stress causes your body to release chemicals, and one main chemical is cortisol. The chemical changes in your biology can cause heart problems, amongst other things. Researchers have believed that anywhere from 70 to 90% of all health problems in the United States today has a foundation in stress. Okay, what causes stress? Fear. That's a lot of health concerns based on stress. Stress plays a big part. And one of the things with stress is that for evolutionary purposes in early man, we needed that stress level. We needed that fight or flight situation because we actually had to run from predators. But we didn't lose that stress hormone, even though we're civilized now. So we can manifest fear in the same way as if a saber-tooth tiger is chasing us, but it can just be fear and anxiety from our boss or from traveling on a train or just from the news that we hear. We all have the power to choose. We can choose to turn off fear. You can limit the sensational news stories. You can limit social media. Understand that everything that you hear today, that you see today is magnified because in my time, growing up in the 60s and 70s as a child, and I'm 61 years old. So in my time, growing up, there was only 3 national networks, TV networks, and you're lucky if you had 5 local channels. You always had that one of the channels on a UHF station, but you can barely get them in. You need a UHF antenna for that. So our lives didn't revolve around news, and you didn't have news 24/7. No, you had the 6 o'clock news and the 11 o'clock news, and that was it. 6 o'clock news, 11 o'clock news. Now you have news starting at 4:30 in the morning, going to about 10 o'clock in the morning. You have cable news shows run all day, 24/7, right? 7 days a week, 24 hours. And and today, because of cable TV, internet, social media, there's hundreds of social media platforms and hundreds of cable networks, all providing and all chasing the same news story. So now you can understand why all that news is magnified because they're all chasing the same story and you're getting that news now instantaneously. What you have to understand is that even though it seems like it's crazy out there, and you must believe this, okay? Sociologists and anthropologists have all agreed on this. Today is the safest time in human existence. Okay? You didn't want to live 2,000 years ago. You didn't want to live 1,000 years ago. You didn't want to live 5,000 years ago. This is the safest time for humans to exist, but you'll never know it because of mainstream media, because of cable network news, and because of social media platforms. What could you do? Well, Try to meditate. Meditation goes a long way in relieving anxiety and stress. It really does. And there's a science behind meditation now. For 100 years or so, meditation was considered, a hokum, something that was not true. It was mystic. But now with technology, they're able to actually monitor and measure brain function during meditation. Okay, meditation works, scientifically proven to work, and brings your brain activity down to a comfortable level. And you can actually change your biology by learning how to meditate. One of the guys I recommend, and I'll leave a link for his site, is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it's called The Biology of Belief. And he has a YouTube channel and he has a whole site there, Law of Attraction site. And Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, can show you how to meditate. But it works. And everybody can meditate in their own way. You can meditate traditionally like this. Look at that beautiful sunset. That's a sunset over the Gulf of Mexico, from Key Largo. Or you can find your own private place to meditate. There's an actual photo of a friend who posted this online several years ago. There's a sunset over Long Island Sound off the coast of Connecticut. Okay, that was him on his boat. Look at that beautiful sunset. There's nothing like being on water when the sun rises or when the sun sets. Very relaxing. Okay, so I recommend if you have the opportunity, do something like that. Go for a run. Or go for a walk. I highly recommend walking. Unless you're gonna do interval training and you can run fast and do sprints, a brisk walk is probably better than a slow jog for you. So go for a run, go for a walk, try to find a quiet place to do it, and take in the sights, be in the moment. And the reason why running and walking is so helpful is because it allows you to be in the moment. It allows you to be mindful and you're in the moment and you're diminishing that stress level that you may have had. Go to a beach, watch a beautiful sunset. There's a beautiful sunset over Siesta Key Beach in Sarasota. Look at that, that's beautiful. And people gather there every evening to watch the sunset over the Gulf of Mexico. As I said before, there's something about watching the sunrise and the sunset. It's beautiful. Yeah, and it's very relaxing. So that's it with the slideshow, and I hope you enjoyed that slideshow. I just want to get back to stress. Um, so what we're going through today with COVID is really nothing new. As humans, we've gone through a lot of adversity in the past. A lot of people have noted it in history in their journals. I just posted something about Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors of Rome, and he kept journals. And he was probably the smartest emperor for Rome. And he wrote his journals, which are translated now into a book. It's called Meditations. And at that time when he wrote Meditations, he didn't mean for it to be published. That was his own private journal. So he was journaling. And that was a time when there was a great world pandemic at that time. And he lost close family members and close friends during that pandemic. But there's something about finding a way, a method to relax. So during this pandemic, one of the things I would recommend is you're doing yourself harm by being fearful. Turn it off, okay? If you're going to get anxious and full of rage on something you read, then you know what? Shut down social media. Don't listen to it. Take a break. Put a timer on it. Okay? If the news upsets you, watch news that is generic. When we grew up, we had Walter Cronkite, Chet Huntley, Brinkley. We had people like that. And the news was kind of dry. And the news only got entertaining when television expanded, and then especially when social media expanded and cable TV expanded and satellites expanded, because they're all competing for the same news. So they all have to be entertaining now. And then it's all became bias and opinion generated. Walter Cronkite was a master of just presenting the news. Perhaps he's known for the one time that he did present an opinion was during the Vietnam War, and he gave an opinion that he didn't think the war was winnable. But basically, the news back then in the 60s was pretty dry, and it started getting a little more loose, a little more entertaining in the early 70s. And to me, that was the downfall of news presentation. But today, if you want a good reputable news source, I would listen to BBC. Okay, if you ever hear BBC, it's a person talking in monotone, just telling you the events of the day, what happened in different parts of the world. That's it. There's no opinion or commentary about the events, just what happened. Reuters is a good news agency. Associated Press is a good news agency. So get those apps on your phone. This way you get news events, what's happening. But turn it off, turn the social media down, calm down. Fear causes stress. Today's mainstream media and today on social media, people have used fear, they have weaponized fear to grab your attention. They grab your attention with sensational headlines. They grab your attention with devastating stories. Don't allow that to happen. Fear causes stress. Stress causes your body to release certain chemicals. Those chemicals have an adverse effect on your body and on your biology. It diminishes your immune system. So do those things that I mentioned. Try doing something. Find a quiet place. You can find a quiet place in your home. Not everybody can get to a boat. Not everybody can get to the beach. But everybody can find a quiet spot in their home and sit for 10, 20 minutes without any interference or any interruptions. This way you bring your stress level down. Be in a moment. Be conscious. Think about yourself breathing. If you can listen to your breaths, you can get away all the outside noise, and that would bring your stress levels down, and that'd be bringing you to a state of well-being. So please don't allow fear to destroy your life, to take over your life, to take over your decision making. You're in control of you. You're in control of your body. Okay? Don't let fear and people using fear manipulate you in certain ways. You're the master of your body. You're in charge. You have all you have to do is turn it off. Turn off the news, turn off the TV, or listen to my channel. Okay, so I hope this was a little informative. Please like my video, share my video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Okay, it's very important, and it's going to be down there in the corner, a little fighting Irish guy. Okay, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about fear, how it's being manipulated today, how it's being used today. So because again, what's happening today is no different. This has happened before in the history of man. This has happened before in the 20th century numerous times. It's happened before in the last 20 years. It's happened before. Don't let fear and don't let people manipulate fear to destroy you or to change your opinion about something. Okay, so just worry about the things that you can control. There's a lot of stuff out there you can't control. Don't think about them. Think about what you could control. And what you can control is how you react to those outside influences. What you can control is what you do when things happen in front of you. Okay, so read Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. And there's other books on fear and how to manage fear. So do some reading, less social media, less TV, and stay healthy, and subscribe to my channel and listen for my next content. And don't forget, coffee. Coffee makes stress go away. Moderation. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the show.